2024 was a year of AI chatbots, and 2025 has been a year of AI voice agents. And since then, everyone is trying to integrate AI voice agents in their system, whether in customer support or outbound lead generation tool. So, how to achieve that, and what basically is the crux behind all of the fuss? There are primarily two architectures to build those AI voice agents, and I am going to discuss three ways you can leverage those architectures to build a voice AI agent for you. I'm Afaq, and let me walk you through those three ways you can leverage those two architectures to build voice AI agents for you, and I'll be discussing cons and pros of each of those methods for you to decide which one suits you the best. So first of all is the most famous one, the sandwich architecture. The sandwich architecture is quite straightforward. It is text to speech to LLM to speech to text. This is what most of the voice AI agents that you see out there in the industry are based upon. What it simply is, it basically converts your speech into a written text. It then sends the text to a third-party LLM service to which the LLM service responds back in form of text, of course, and then that text is converted into a speech back for the user. So behind the speech-to-speech conversation lies this chain of speech-to-text, LLM, text-to-speech, back to the user. So it comes with its own cons and pros. First of all, of course, due to this chain, there are a lot of options of plug and play. You can try to integrate different tools for different part of this chain and see which one suits the best for your use case, right? Another thing that is important in this is making sure every tool that you are using is being utilized up to the mark. For example, you can log every component in the chain separately and not only debug it, but also improve it. You can work on every component separately to make sure your chain is working fine and working to fit each other the best. And last but not the least, another good thing about this chain is having an individual LLM component because you can add additional external knowledge base with your LLM, or you can also integrate functional tool calls. I mean, the possibilities are endless given how LLMs have been progressively updated and developed by the bigger companies out there. So the pros also come with some cons as well, of course. Notice how I've been using the word chain and how you can debug them easily, but always know that implementing that chain is the hardest part. It's not writing basic prompt for your application. You should be able to read and analyze the documentation. You should know how to handle streams. You should be able to read the documentation, the asterisks, the yields, those keywords, those buzzwords, because if you want to integrate one technology with other, you have to understand the core concept behind each of these, how each of the components work to make sure they are compatible with each other. So it adds a layer of complexity, and with that complexity comes a second disadvantage, which is the latency. Since there are a lot of components involved, there is numerous places where latency can be disturbed, whether while converting your speech to text or while getting a response from LLM or while converting your text back to speech for the user. So latency is something that you need to deal with while making these chains. You should make sure that all the components that you are using are very well compatible with each other and they are not slowing each other down. So this is the famous sandwich architecture for you. Now, the second approach that I want to discuss is also based on the sandwich architecture, but it eliminates the headache of implementing the chain and managing that chain. The second approach is using third-party tools like Retail, Bland AI, or Whoppy. These tools are out there to help you maintain the chain and maintain the additional layer of complexity. You simply have to go to the dashboard of, let's say, Whoppy. You simply can create a voice AI agent, write some basic prompts in it. You can also add additional tool calls and also attach your own knowledge base with it. And it would do the job just fine. It would be the sandwich model, but minus the complexity of development. So they handle all the things that you want, and your use case would be achieved just by using some third-party services. Now, it seems like a dream come true, right? No, they are quite expensive because per minute cost can add up really quickly. In the start, they are not that expensive, but if you are building something on production level, your users are going to be a lot, then this could be a huge problem because in the later run, it might be an issue for cost. The other thing is the black box. since the third-party services handle the chain on their own, there are obviously options, but the options are limited on the tools and technologies that you can experiment with, the tools and technology you can plug and play with. So while it is a good thing, you can rely on someone for doing the job for you, it is also a limitation that you are relying on someone for doing the job for you. So the cons are pretty self-explanatory, and so are the pros. So we'll come back to it, which one to use when out of these two ways. The third approach is something that has a different architecture. This third approach does not rely on converting speech to text and then text back to speech. Rather, it is a direct speech to speech architecture. So how it works is it's just like your LLM tools, which are based on text-to-text communication. You send them text, it processes the text and return the text back to the user. The speech recognition models work in the same way as well. They are speech-to-speech models. You say something to them, they process the speech, generate a speech back for the user. So I'm talking about Google's Translatotron or Meta's Seamless M40. These are some of the models that they have released which support speech-to-speech communication. This eliminates the latency problem for most of the use cases, but the problem with them is they are still in research phases and the options to utilize them are not much. A very common and good use case for them would be in translation models, because in translation, your speech directly can be processed and then translated into um, another language and can be spoken back to you. This is a common use case for them. But most of these models are being still used in the research phases, and you should only go to them if you are going to do your own research or want to work in specific niche as well, because the options are very limited. Unlike LLMs, there are not a lot of companies which are developing something new based on LLMs. So while sandwich model comes with its own cons and basically latency problem, it solves a lot of your problems today, and that is something that you should go for. And while this speech to speech might solve a lot of our problems, it could solve the problem of guessing the tone, because when you convert speech to text, it totally eliminates the tone that you're using, saying the words with. So it would solve that problem as well. This is something that you should look forward to and you should keep an eye for. Right now, if you want to build something, this is how your flow should look like. You should go for third-party tools for creating an MVP, for creating a proof of concept, knowing if your use case can be solved by this specific architecture. You can try some different tools. You can use plug and play on the third-party dashboards as well. And once you're out of the MVP phase, you have your proof of concept ready, you are sure that this thing is solving the problem, then you should always converge to your own custom solution of implementing the chain yourself, because it would lower your expenses in the later run and also will be flexible in future for any new coming technology, and you won't have to rely on any third-party tool as well. So these are three ways you can generate your own voice AI agents in 2026 as well. And let me know if you have any questions, concern, or some thoughts that you want to share with. I'll be available. Thanks. Bye bye.